welcome to the first round of the 29th Grand Arena season. It's 5 versus 5 again, and I'm playing against the Decon artist, whose real name is Synergy. He's from Maul. A very good player, efficiency player, like efficiency player, like so he usually uses like all GLs on offense. I only found out because like I looked up it on his profile because I didn't know the name Datacron artist. Speaking of Datacrons, I'm not a fan. To be honest, they put me on the verge of like not really quitting the game, but like stopping to trying to play PvP like on a serious note or like in terms of trying to win. It's right now I'm just burned out from the game, so and they don't really help with that. Anyway, I thought give it a try, and here we're looking at the defenses. So he already played a bit before I started my attacks, and there were some interesting teams on defense, especially the mom of my team with Malak trying to stop troopers, but also other counters. And then there is also interesting Darth Revan comp. It looks weird at first, but it makes sense. And I started with kind of a staple counter now versus gas. Maul with Mandalorians. I didn't remod my Mandalorians to beat JMK for this round because I felt any Datacrons might go in range in this at all anyway. So I just like work with my normal modding for them, which is still good enough for gas. So you just make gas it down after you got your 5 stacks of anguish, then take out 5s, and then the rest of the clones, and then you just wait for gas to do his thing, and then ideally you can land days on gas, which happened here, and then you can go all out on him, ideally with Maul, because then all the Mandalorians assist, and then they gain back their protection and health, so which happened here. And so I started off like with full banners on the first battle, which was nice. And so for the second battle, I decided to take in Wampa versus this Darth Revan comp, even though it is anti-Wampa, and the reason why it's anti-Wampa is that Greedo removes turn meter, and so if you have like, let's say, a low relic Wampa, he will be taken out, I guess, and there's Deathmark as well. So I wouldn't say this is like advisable to use Wampa against this, but I thought, I don't care. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. And so I put trust into my Wampa, who's fully built for tenacity. So health might be better in this battle, but it worked, so I won't complain. Then against this Treya team, I used Bad Batch. I could also use Troopers, but I think Bad Batch is better in terms of banner recovery. At that point in time, I didn't really care about banners, but versus Synergy or like the Datacron artist, you really have to care because he's like a hyper efficiency player, meaning that he usually also undersizes teams, I guess, because he always gets like very high points. And I was like aware that my defense is kind of tough, but also in some spots not so much. So I figured I have to somewhat look at banners if I want to have a chance at winning, but at the same time, at times didn't care. But here I felt like troopers might, I don't know. Didn't want to use troopers here because I felt maybe I need them in the back. So, and that's why I used Bad Batch, which was okay. 64 banners. And then I changed my defenses up like by accident. I had Darth Revan for offense, and so then I saw the Starkiller comp. My Starkiller wouldn't have been ideal because my Mara is slower than his. His is like 376 and mine is 373. So I thought, let's do C, Watt and Malak just to stop the turn meter gain from EP, so to make it a little bit harder for them to roll over me. And I guess it works. Spoiler, I take out the Starkiller team here. But I don't know, it felt quite comfortable doing this. I also didn't feel like I need 5 tunes on my end, also because the more characters you have on your team, the easier it is for Mara to cycle her turns due to the TM gain she gets because she isn't a Sith. And so it's yeah, it was good to undersize this whole thing. And yeah, Malak, his sole purpose here is potentially force train someone, which doesn't really do anything because, as you can see, it's reduced by half the health damage when they have a debuff. And so his sole purpose was stopping the EP train, so to say, and offering a punching bag for them. And also, even like the Star Destroyer doesn't take him out. Yeah, then I had my ultimate ready, took out Starkiller, and then it basically at this point it was game over. But yeah, don't really know what else to say. It felt good. So if you ever see like this team on defense and you have a Malak and a C, you can use them. With what, of course. Potentially Armor would also do, but I'm not sure. It was okay to use this comp. Takes a while, of course, because, you know, I don't fast forward so much. Yeah. Yeah, and then this was, I think, the last team on the front wall. So then we take a look at the back wall, and there we didn't see anything threatening besides Maul potentially, but there is no really fast character on this team. The only wrench there is like Bam, but other than that, wasn't much of a struggle. This team, however, was kind of fast. I think Queel was 350 something, so I didn't want to use Geos here or Geos Bam. I thought like, troopers, why not use them? Because I don't trust them as much versus the Bam variant of Maul. So I thought, yeah, don't take a risk, get easy banners on this team because it's, besides the speed, it's utterly trash. No, it's not trash. It just doesn't have legs somehow, you know, like if they get the roll, of course, something can happen for them, but if they don't, then it's just, yeah, an interesting team to get banners on. Most of the teams are designed, like on the defense, are designed anyway to steal banners, so if you can avoid that, then it's always nice. Then yeah, I had Jedi versus the Dash team. He was 360 something, I guess, or 370 something. I forgot to got it actually, because as I said, I only know that I played against Synergy because I looked up the name on Svigo.gc because I wasn't sure who is this. And that's why I saw some stuff in the history, but usually other than that I don't really scout anymore because I don't feel motivated to do that. It will bite me in the butt at some point, but I don't really care at the moment. It's just like, okay, let's do whatever. And so I had this Jedi team, and I think it was put to good use here versus this kind of interesting Dash team. Then I used my Qui-Gon Omicron team against Malak. Usually I would have undersized that, but I didn't feel too comfortable with this because of Malak. Don't know why, so I used all and a 5-man team, and because they don't go as much for our friend Qui-Gon, I could punch already some dents into the characters there, avoiding to use the AoE, of course, to not have to deal with the cooldowns, and so they finally killed Qui-Gon. I got some banners back, and then I took out the team. Was quite easy, of course. Then back wall again. This is an interesting comp. Maul with essentially crew as a punching bag who will counter, and then if he crits, you will get assists by Sith Trooper. But versus Gas, attack out of turn, so he doesn't crit, so no assists there. But then again, Gas, of course, the annoying thing about him is usually you use banners. You can potentially undersize teams, but sometimes undersize doesn't feel too nice as well. So I thought I'd take in the whole team or like the full team and basically overkill this team. And why not, right? So I have the teams. It was really weird. I'm always like getting in this weird state when you play against efficiency players who keep all their GLs for offense. And I was like, I have all these teams here, what do I do with them? And it feels so weird. I could have used this team, I could have used this team here. But then you think you should make the defense even harder, but then sometime in the next round you need all the teams you have for offense. So it's such a weird thing. Talking about teams for offense, I still had Starkiller available, and so I decided, why not use Starkiller here. Of course, you have to work with the jumping taunt around that, but now it lands on Bam, which was good, at least for a second. And here it goes back, which is ideal for me because my first priority is to get out Bam so he doesn't get in the way when I go for the rest of the team. Which happened here. And so Taunt jumps around again, but doesn't really matter because I now can take out Bam by Reese's. My Reese's is always offense modded, by the way, like semi-offense, like offense set with offense and have primaries, so not pure offense. But still, she does some good damage at times. Helps to take out Bam, for instance. And then, unfortunately, Maul gets to go, so I lose some banners because I'm one basic away from Starkiller to get to the ultimate. But he has too much damage output, and so I can't regain the banner, so I lost 5 there, which was unfortunate. But yeah, happens. Then we have an anti-Wampa Iden team here. But of course, if you take out troopers, so if you're not full trooper, you also lose the TM gain from Iden, and so it's a one-trick pony, this team, if you take out one trooper and essentially replace them by TIE Fighter Pilot. And even with TIE Fighter Pilot, you can take out the team with Wampa. It just depends on how things work out, and also potentially crit avoidance helps there because he needs to crit to land or inflict tenacity down on you. So if he doesn't crit, which from my experience more often than not he doesn't, so he does not crit, it's still kind of safe, I would say. Yeah, but so they still managed to take out my tank. Like potentially I wouldn't have needed L3, but I felt like, why not? A little bit of a safety might be nice at times, but then you lose the benefits from Talon, of course. But yeah, I didn't care as much because the team is not as good. But still, again, it's a team that should steal banners from you, and it does a job. So it's that, you know, one character is down, and I only got like 58 banners. But as I said, I didn't care that much. I think this was already the last team on the ground. Which is JTR, without anything else, anything special, so I could take in my bounty hunters without Sam, so basic bounty hunter team, which gets the job done, of course, and it feels like overkill, but it was just nice, you know, like classic matchup, 65 banners there. And then we went to the fleets, and because of that I have time to talk about other things. Yeah, again, pure efficiency, so I think this was the toughest fleet on defense, besides Tarkin fleet, with TIE Interceptor. But other than that, nothing really challenging, so it was quite interesting, like already in the first match. Not maybe interesting, but it was actually expected, because I'm top 20. I am on the 20th place beginning of this season, and I think the top leaderboard is still like pure efficiency or like yeah, hardcore defense. There's nothing in between, I guess, or maybe there is, I don't know, figure it out. All the weeks will be weeks of hell unless I lose, so then I can play more relaxed again. But yeah, I don't really care at this point. I'm still trying to wrap my head around Microns. How do I feel about them? There are times when I feel like they destroy the game for me, because I have put so much effort into, you know, kind of learning kits, learning mechanics, figuring out by yeah, playing the way I play, how to counter stuff and stuff like that. And suddenly there's just another like RNG mechanic involved that I have no control over, what my opponent has, what I have. You might say the same for mods, but yes, mods you can farm, you can keep them, you can improve them, and with those data crowns, it's just like, yeah, you get what you have, and some weeks after it's gone. And so for me, it kind of changes the character of the game to a point or to a degree that I don't like, that I don't appreciate. at the same time, on other days I think, yeah, okay, you see those data accounts and you see how not accessible they are from now, unless you're like a mega kraken who like buys all the stores on the first day, on the second day, and then the week after, and like refreshes. What's the game mode? Conquest until into the 400s and plays all the special missions to get stuff, you know. Those people might have like 2 or 3 like level 9 datacrons or so, but still, like, the longer in you are, then the more you will see those datacrons. And so right now, because there is still like limited access, I feel like, oh, okay, some team has like 20% tenacity or like, I don't know, 30% potency or stacking offense, whatever. It's okay, you can deal with that. And then I feel, oh, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's just not so different. And some teams, as you've seen also in the defense, and also on my defense, there were only a few applied. And so I felt like, okay, maybe that's something I can deal with. But I think the longer it will go on, and especially the fact that these are applicable to Galactic Legend, really makes me think that I won't like them ever. So I don't know. I said it like, yeah, I was spun out before that already, because I think personal life is stressful. Then you have this like going on. You still enjoy the game and it's fun. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. But if it ever feels like a chore to me, and it ever feels like, okay, I have to engage with these things because of datacrons, or I have to engage with datacrons, and I don't really like it at all, and it becomes feeling like a chore the whole game to me, then I will stop playing at some point. Potentially not like quitting the game, because, you know, when you have like 10 million GP, it feels weird to say, yeah, I quit the game, I don't care. I'm aware that this game will end at some point, but until then I think I would just like stay and stick with my investments, right? And just maybe not more play competitive anymore. But speaking of competitive, this is the final result. I won, and yeah, thanks for watching. So see you in the next round.